We hear a lot about the incredible promise of AI, right? But if you're a stakeholder, an investor, a regulator, you know that's only half the story. To really understand risk, you have to look at what happens when things go spectacularly wrong. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to dive into some major AI failures, not to scare you, but to arm you, because understanding these mistakes is one of the best tools you have for asking the right questions. Let's get into it.
All right, just a quick heads up before we start. This is part 13 of our 15-part overview of a much larger research report from Virtualization Options LLC. Now, obviously, we can only scratch the surface here, and please remember, this isn't legal, financial, or investment advice, and it doesn't come with any kind of warranty.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about just how high the stakes really are. Then we'll dig into two big case studies, one on algorithmic bias and another on automation gone wrong. After that, we'll connect the dots and spot the failure patterns you need to recognize. And we'll wrap up with the single most important question all of this should lead you to ask.
Okay, let's just cut to the chase. We hear the term AI risk all the time, but what does a catastrophic failure actually look like in the real world? I'm not talking about a few lines of bad code. I'm talking about real, tangible, and sometimes devastating consequences. Let's start with a number.
$20 billion. That's the price tag of a single automation failure for one company. And that's not some abstract number. That's the direct hit from things like production shutdowns, massive lawsuits, criminal charges, and of course, a complete collapse in shareholder value. When we talk about risk, this is the scale we're talking about.
All right, let's jump into our first set of examples, which deal with one of the trickiest problems in AI today, algorithmic bias. This is what happens when we accidentally teach our amazing new machines to automate our own worst habits and prejudices.
So, picture this. A huge e-commerce company wants to hire faster. They build a shiny new AI tool to screen resumes, feeding it a decade's worth of their own hiring data to learn from. The promise? Efficiency. The reality? The AI taught itself that men were better candidates. It literally started penalizing resumes that included the word women's, like, say, captain of the women's chess club, and it automatically downgraded graduates from all women's colleges. It didn't just have a bug, it had perfectly learned the company's own historical bias.
So what happened? Well, the tool was a total write-off, a huge waste of money and time. But even worse, it became a public relations nightmare and put them right in the crosshairs of regulators. And when you look at the root causes, it's a textbook case of failed governance. Nobody audited the data for bias, they didn't do proper fairness testing, and frankly, the team that built it just wasn't diverse enough to even see the iceberg they were hiding for.
And here's the thing that should really get your attention. This was completely preventable. A simple data audit would have screamed, hey, you've got a gender imbalance here. Mandatory fairness testing would have caught the bias in action, and a formal ethics review would have questioned the whole premise from the start. We're not talking about rocket science here, we're talking about basic risk mitigation.
Now, this isn't just a corporate issue. Back in 2020, a government in Europe couldn't hold exams because of the pandemic, so they turned to an algorithm to assign final grades. The promise was fairness for everyone. The reality was a system that punished high-achieving students just because they went to schools in historically lower-income areas. It basically baked socioeconomic discrimination right into the education system. And the scale of this was just shocking. The algorithm downgraded almost 40% of the grades that teachers had predicted. Just imagine that. You're a brilliant student. You've worked your tail off. Your university spot is on the line, and an algorithm just decided your future based on your zip code instead of your talent. The fallout was immediate and explosive. There were public protests, total chaos in university admissions, and public trust in government algorithms just evaporated overnight. The root causes? Yep. You guessed it, a rush timeline, zero transparency about how the thing even worked, and no way for students to appeal a decision made by a machine. It was a perfect storm of governance failure. And again, it just didn't have to be this way. Talking to teachers and students beforehand would have raised the alarm. Making the algorithm transparent would have allowed experts to vet it. A small pilot test would have shown the terrible results. And, just having a simple process for a human to review and appeal would have provided the safety net that was so desperately needed.
Okay, let's shift gears now. We've talked about bias, which is incredibly damaging, but now we're moving into automation failures in safety-critical systems. And here, the consequences aren't just unfair or costly, they could be deadly.
A major aerospace company rolled out a new automated flight control system, but it had a fatal flaw. The entire system relied on a single sensor. There was no backup. So when that one sensor gave it bad data, the system literally fought the pilots for control, forcing the nose of the plane down. The results were 2 horrific crashes, 346 lives lost, and that $20 billion price tag we mentioned earlier.
This tragedy was a catastrophic breakdown of the most basic engineering and governance principles. I mean, requiring redundancy, a backup in a critical system, that's Aerospace 101. Making sure human pilot can always override the machine is fundamental. Full disclosure, proper training, independent safety reviews. These aren't nice-to-haves, they're non-negotiable. This happened because foundational safety rules were ignored.
So, as we look back at these cases, a very clear picture starts to form. These disasters, whether they came from bias or bad automation, weren't just random, unlucky accidents. They were the predictable result of recurring failure patterns in an organization's governance, its processes, and its culture.
Let's break these patterns down. First, you've got inadequate testing, just shipping a system without seriously trying to find out if it's discriminatory. Then there's a lack of transparency, using these black box algorithms where even the creators can't explain why it made a certain decision. And a big one, rushed deployment, where the pressure to be first to market overrides the need to be safe and responsible.
And the patterns don't stop there. Zooming out, these are all governance failures. A lack of oversight from the board, no ethics committee, no one empowered to say stop. You see basic technical failures, like building a critical system with a single point of failure. And maybe the most painful one of all is a pattern of ignoring warnings, when your own engineers are raising red flags, but they get overruled for business reasons.
So this brings everything right back to you. As a stakeholder, understanding these patterns isn't just an interesting exercise. It's about turning these very expensive, very painful lessons into a concrete checklist. It's about knowing exactly what questions you need to be asking. Because here it is, the single most important takeaway from all of this. The hiring tool, the grading algorithm, the flight control system. Every single one of these disasters was preventable. They were preventable with better governance, with stronger oversight, and with a culture that actually valued safety and ethics over just speed. So the final question isn't about what they did wrong. It's about what you, as an investor, a partner, a board member, will ask to make sure it doesn't happen again on your watch.